All right, Randy. So now we got reconnected here with Randall Beane. He's going to continue telling you guys about South Carolina.
You there, Mike?
Yep, I'm here, Randy.
Okay. Where were we?
So
We're talking about the day they arrested me and the sovereign citizen stuff, and then
right.
they wanted to bust the wind out of my truck.
Yeah, they were going to bust the window. From what I read, Randy, they were going to bust the window out of your car because you rolled down the windows a couple inches, and you asked for identification from them, and you asked them for the legally required information they're supposed to give you, and I guess they were about to break out your window, and
Yeah, and when what happened at that point when they drew back this long golden bar that had a hook on the end of it. I mean, not golden, but chrome. And it had a hook on the end. And when he drew back, I saw him out to my, because there were one officer was on the right side, one was on the left. They were both hollering at me through the window. I had both windows cracked on both sides of the truck. And the one on the right had my attention, but the one on the left was getting ready to rear back and bust my window out. And I looked and I said, whoa, don't bust my window out. So at that point, I rolled the window down. And as soon as I rolled the window down, they stuck tasers in the truck and started tasing me. And they tased me until they got me exactly in the position they wanted me on the ground. And they wanted me spread eagle with my hands behind my back, my legs spread apart, and they would not stop tasing me until I got exactly where they wanted me in the position they wanted me in. They tased me so hard that they had to call an ambulance to come check me out because they thought they had given me a heart attack. Now, they charged me with beating and wounding an officer, so at this point, I would have thought if there would have been an officer injured with an ambulance there, somebody would have been looked at. So I know there was no officer looked at that day. I don't know where this beaten wounded officer came from or where he was or who he claims to be, but there was no officer injured, and there should be a record with that ambulance showing up that day that they came to see me and no one else was seen on the scene.
right.
And then once the ambulance left, that's when the two government officials showed up. And then from that point, then they took me straight to the jailhouse. And I stayed in the jail for 60 days from that point. And then went to court twice. And then the first time was the municipal court. Second time was the general sessions court. So I don't know how they can say I have a failure to appear when I was there both times. And they had me in their jail. So how can you give a failure to appear when you got him in jail? And, you're responsible for getting him to the courtroom.
Right. Now, when you were released, because of like I was saying, actually we'll get to that in a minute. I want to finish with you telling about the actual incident. Now I noticed, so you're talking about a big metal bar with a hook. For those of you guys that are listening, to me, I used to be a volunteer fireman for years, for about 7-8 years. That sounds like a Halligan bar. It's typically used to when there's either car fires or house fires. It's to break into different things, and that's pretty scary that they would actually swing that with you in the car like
He had
that.
it drew back like a baseball bat, like he was getting ready to hit a ball.
Yeah, that's
I
abuse.
was afraid to put the windows down because there were so many officers outside my truck. Like I said, they were in SWAT gear. They weren't in normal police uniforms. They were in SWAT gear.
It almost sounds like you were being targeted, because I mean, for them to claim that you were speeding and all that nonsense. I mean, is that normally how they go about business? Is not to mention the stuff that they incarcerated you for in South Carolina. After reading the charges, I mean, you did the only technical crime that they claim you did was that resisting arrest, which in some states that's not even a misdemeanor. Some states it's a violation. It depends on the level they give you, but everything else was just traffic violations. That's I mean.
Right. And according to an attorney I spoke to, they were way out of line to even tase me that day because there was nothing to tase me for. And they, like I said, they took 2 tasers in me. And just continued to tase. I thought I was going to die right there because it was so much electricity going through my body.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Now with that, You said I saw you were writing down what happened. You said at one point there was, at the beginning, there was about 3 or 4 cars right off the bat that were coming at you. So that's what makes me think it was that they were targeting you, that they were looking for you.
Yeah, it was obvious that they were looking for me because the initial pulling over was there was 3 cars right behind me. So if I'd have been speeding, it would have only been 1 car, you know. But you know, it's obvious that they had a plan to catch me, and in that plan, those officers were the ones in the SWAT gear. They came to the truck for a traffic violation in SWAT gear. And here's the other thing: they all had body cams on. Where's the body cam footage? If there was, you know, all this.
They probably turned it off. Yeah, they probably turned it off. I imagine they probably had dash cams as well.
Yes, exactly.
And
there ended up being over 13 cars at the scene that day.
Right, and that's what I was getting to, is that there was, you go from 3 off the bat, which I don't think I've ever seen them looking for traffic violations 3 cars deep unless they're doing like DWI sweeps, and it's not that there's 3 cars flying around. It's usually they're set up and they're waiting for people, drunk drivers.
Like I said, I was in a school zone. It was it was that time of the day when the speed limit's like 35 miles an hour, and I was right behind a tractor trailer. We had both made a right turn, and that's when they pulled in behind me and went after me. And they pulled me over right in front of a school. Where they were doing this at was right in front of a high school.
Right.
And the traffic was piling up for miles back and forth on both sides, and people were just staring because they had me. It looked like, bank robber or murderer laying out in the road there with all these SWAT team officers just holding guns around me.
And so then they took you straight to county and locked you up, and then you sat there for what, 60 days?
60 days, yes. They put me for the first 3 days. They put me in what they call a drunk tank. It was a cell that somebody had thrown up, defecated, and urinated in, and it smelled terrible. But they left me in this cell for 3 days like that.
Did they give you your phone call or read you your rights?
Yeah, they gave me a phone call, but they were very rude about everything. That cell was right there where they booked people in, so it was a lot of loud. They were just being really loud. They wouldn't let me sleep much. It was just very obvious that they were being very rude to me,
Yeah.
One of the other things I want to say about the scene, I was sitting on the tailgate of my truck, and I bet there was 5 or 6 officers going through my truck, and I turned and I said, look, I did not give any consent for anyone to search my truck. The one officer just looked at me and said, oh, we know you didn't. And then I said, well, you're stopping me for speeding. How fast was I going? He said, oh, plenty fast. Don't you worry about it. So, I'm being talked to that way, not being answered any questions. And it was just obvious that there was an ulterior motive behind what they were doing.
Right. That's what it sounds like. And I mean, so they did that. So you sat in jail for 60 days, and
Mike, you sound like you're underwater.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So you sat in jail for 60 days, and then they released you. They released you at a court date, right? So, and that's now. Did they tell you that you had to reappear? Because I saw something about roll call or something like that, where you had to go to like some kind of roll call. But again, the paperwork that I have is very conflicting. Some of it appears as though it was like time served and done, and then other paperwork seems as though it was like released on bond. And then
they told me it would be time served when they let me go, and the court date was like sometime in January. But what happened is when I went back to my home state of North Carolina,
yep.
And I had a previous DUI probation violation of they were calling it a what's the word, absconding. Anyway, I moved in with a friend of mine when I got back to North Carolina, and there's a whole lot more to this story than I'm just touching on the highlights, but someone was trying to break in the house. Anyway, I called the sheriff's department. And this night, I called the sheriff's department. 13 officers show up that night and arrest me for absconding, and never went through they went through the house, but they wouldn't tell me if somebody was in the house. But I believe there was an officer in the house that night. Anyway, when I went to court for that situation, they knew, I was told that Randolph County, North Carolina, had trained all their judges, all their attorneys, and all the officers about sovereign citizens through a technical college there in town, a community college. They had taken them all through these courses because they knew I was coming. When they finally took me to court, the DA, when they called the docket, the DA came around her desk. She stuck an envelope under my nose and she said, "Do you accept or deny this?" I've never heard anybody say that before. I looked at her and I said, "Well, I guess I deny it." What I didn't realize at that point, I had answered a question. I fell into the game, and what they had done at that point was they avoided me going into taking over the courtroom because they knew that's what I was going to do.
Right.
And so they went all around that by going and sticking that envelope under my nose and saying, "Do you accept or deny this?" I had never heard them say that to anybody before, ever, and haven't yet. But they knew what I was going to do. And like I said, there were several officers told me, and after all this was over with, that they had specifically brought my name up and said that I was coming and they were going to train people about sovereign citizens.
Now,
and so they trained all the officers from the police, sheriff department. They trained all the judges and all the attorneys from the court.
so what did they do? They turned around and you were incarcerated with North Carolina during the court dates for South Carolina?
Yes, I was incarcerated in North Carolina the day that the court would be. I was incarcerated during the time there would have been a court session in South Carolina. So at that point, anyway, in North Carolina, they ended up keeping me in jail for 122 days on a 60-day sentence. There's my cousin Patricia knows everything's going on here. So if we get cut off and there's more explanation needed, she can help you with it. But ended up getting a speeding ticket in Asheville, North Carolina, and was arrested for an absconding warrant again by 5 officers that day. Every time they stop me and arrest me, they always have like a SWAT team after me with guns drawn, and it.
You have 60 seconds.
Pulled me back into court again and sentenced me to 8 months in jail because I was a sovereign citizen. So there's 2 occasions I've been arrested for being a sovereign citizen, and I've not. So anyway, we ended up getting an attorney who understood that I was being railroaded on the Randolph County case, and he ended up getting me out of jail. And I ended up serving the 6 weeks on that one. But they originally wanted an 8-month sentence because they were claiming to me being a sovereign citizen.
Wow. So did they have an actual charge for sovereign citizen?
No, they did not, and they couldn't produce anything out of it. They were just saying that this absconding was all they were going on. But the funny thing was, this DUI, everything was taken care of. All the money had been paid. All the classes had been done. Everything had been done that needed to be done for this probation to be over. Your time has expired. This call may have been monitored or recorded.
Okay, guys. So as you hear, that's some more on the South Carolina issue from Randall. There's more that we'll be going into. I don't know if he'll be calling back again today. He's running pretty low on phone cards. I'm going to be sending him some funds to the jail for phone cards. But yeah, as you can hear, during the time that he would have appeared for South Carolina, he was detained in North Carolina, which then it would become, the courts all communicate, and that would have been on South Carolina to come and pick him up and bring him to court. But apparently they didn't, and they told him that he was released, time served when he was finally released, that South Carolina was handled for time served. Then they remanufactured these charges. As he said, he'd been stopped along the years, had several, motor vehicle tickets or what have you. He's had contact with law enforcement. on different occasions, and this never came up until that day at Buddy Greg Motorhomes. Actually, it wasn't even that day. It was when he was incarcerated. They didn't have anything to keep him on that day with Buddy Greg, so they manufactured that obstruction of justice. And then they, a couple days later, pop up with this South Carolina BS as a way of holding him, so he can't be released the same way that Heather was, being that he's the one that actually used the account. They want to stifle and silence him, and the best way to do that is to keep him locked up there. Unfortunately for them, they didn't plan on him having different ways to get that information out and us doing live interviews. So, as you guys know, my main channel had its second strike. It's no longer. I'm not able to post anything on there for 2 weeks. Fortunately, I had a video which I had uploaded, and for some reason it never published. So I was able to use that video to put a message out to all you guys that this is what's going on. I already appealed it. I got the strike 2 days ago. I appealed it yesterday, and by midnight they had denied my appeal. The video that they hit was my fidelity video that I did 2 months ago. It was my second video or third video on this topic, and they denied my appeal, even though I explained in full detail that that there was nothing in that video that it wasn't telling anybody to use any accounts. It wasn't talking about routing numbers. It wasn't doing anything other than showing people how to find securities in their name. And that just goes to show you guys more and more they don't want the truth out, and it exposes the fraud that's going on. From what I understand, and I'm going to be reporting on this, Willow gave me a heads up. I guess her family had found several pieces of information that YouTube and the Federal Reserve are working together to try to shut down and silence anybody that's getting this information out at this point. And I think that they believe that it's losing momentum, and that's why they're acting now. It's funny how they didn't act when they thought that the momentum was going on overdrive. I think that they're sadly mistaken, though. The momentum hasn't lost. It's just that people aren't using the accounts as much. They're focusing on the bigger picture, which is the fraud that's being committed. So I think that YouTube and the Federal Reserve have just made a fatal error. I think that it's going to destroy YouTube, their reputation. I think that this is going to go across like wildfire. I'm going to keep covering every time Randy calls. I've been working. I know I haven't been putting out as much content. You're going to be seeing a lot of content coming out daily. Now, part of the reason why you haven't had content coming for me is because I've been working really hard, investigating some really, really interesting anomalies in the court cases, in the different aspects surrounding the fraud that we have uncovered. There's a lot of information I'm going to be sharing with you guys, so definitely subscribe to this backup channel if you haven't already. This is going to be the new main channel for now. Even when I can post videos in 2 weeks on my main channel, I cannot afford to have any other strikes, so I had to move all my videos on there to private, with the exception of one or a couple that there's no way I could get a strike for. And I'm gonna repost all the videos that I was striked with. I'm gonna repost those to my personal Steemit. We are working on getting the community Steemit that we broke to you guys. That is approved. It's available. I'll put the link in the description box of this video. So please go over and if you don't have a Steemit account, I strongly recommend that you sign up for one. Please do that. Help us, support us, and allow us to create that community channel, which is going to be all about positivity. That channel is going to be about good feelings, good vibrations, good energy, doing good for people, and that channel is going to make it so we can help people that are struggling and suffering. And the best part is it's not going to come out of anyone's pocket. It's going to be basically a way of showing everyone that the Fed isn't the only one that can create something from nothing. We have that power. We're the ones that have that power. They're just taking it from us. So that channel is up. Once we reach 2,000 followers on that channel, we will start releasing the actual content to it. We are working on the voting system. We are working on I guess you will call it constitution. For those that don't know, we are modeling the structure of that channel after a constitutional republic, how it should operate, the way our nation should be. But unfortunately it isn't, because it's been hijacked by these bankers and the cabal. So the great part about it is it's going to teach people who don't know how our nation should operate and our government should work. It's going to teach them how it should. We're also it's going to be multifaceted. It's not just going to be simply posting, the good videos and making the money to help people. It's also going to be to start organizing, and in a sense, it's going to start our own internet nation. And by doing that, then we're going to start to work together and teach each other, so we can start taking the local government seats, and then from there work our way to the state level government seats, and then from there we're going to start working our way to the federal government seats, so we can start fixing the system from the inside. Alright guys, if you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, do so now. Most importantly, share this information, get it out. Much love. God bless.